What if I told you there's a place on Earth where every single breath you take is connected to the trees growing there? A place so vast, it creates its own weather, hides secrets we're still uncovering, and could determine the future of life on this planet? This isn't a fantasy. It's the Amazon rainforest, and it might just be the most extraordinary yet endangered place on Earth. The Amazon rainforest is unlike any other place on the planet. It's not just the lungs of the Earth, it's a living, breathing mystery. Spanning 9 countries and covering over 2.7 million square miles, it's home to some of the rarest animals, plants, and cultures. But here's the shocking part. The Amazon is vanishing at an alarming rate, and its loss could change the world as we know it. In today's video, we're diving deep into the heart of the Amazon. What makes it so special, why it's in danger, and why its survival matters to you, no matter where you live. This isn't just a story about trees and animals, it's a story about our future. Imagine a forest so massive that it produces 20% of the oxygen you breathe. A place so powerful that it generates its own weather patterns and stabilizes the global climate. That's the Amazon rainforest. But there's a catch. Every single minute, this incredible ecosystem loses the equivalent of 3 football fields worth of forest. That's not just bad news for the trees, it's a catastrophe for the animals, indigenous tribes, and yes, even for you. Why? Because the Amazon doesn't just belong to South America, it belongs to all of us. Its trees absorb billions of tons of carbon dioxide every year, acting as a buffer against climate change. Its rivers feed the world's largest freshwater system. The Amazon regulates global weather patterns, impacting rainfall as far away as the United States and Africa. Yet, despite its importance, we're losing it. Illegal logging, mining, agriculture, and fires, both natural and man-made, are pushing this ecosystem to the brink. Scientists warn that if deforestation continues at this rate, the Amazon could reach a tipping point, transforming from a lush rainforest into a dry savanna. And if that happens, the consequences will be felt worldwide. So, what makes the Amazon rainforest so special? Let's break it down. First, there's the biodiversity. The Amazon is home to 10% of all known species on Earth. Think about that. 1 out of every 10 animals or plants in the world lives here. And the numbers are staggering. Over 400 billion trees from 16,000 different species cover this forest. It's a place where jaguars prowl, anacondas slither, and harpy eagles soar through the skies. But it's not just about the big, impressive creatures. The Amazon's smaller inhabitants are just as fascinating. Take the poison dart frog, for example. These tiny, brightly colored frogs produce toxins so potent that indigenous tribes use them to tip their hunting darts. Or consider the leafcutter ants, which create massive underground farms where they grow fungus to feed their colonies, a practice that looks a lot like farming, millions of years before humans thought of it. And here's the wild part. Scientists estimate that 99% of the Amazon species haven't even been fully studied yet. Every year, researchers discover new plants, animals, and insects that are completely unknown to science. Some of these discoveries have life-saving potential. Quinine, a treatment for malaria, comes from a tree native to the Amazon. Curare, a compound used in surgeries to relax muscles, was first derived from Amazonian plants. But the Amazon isn't just about wildlife. It's also home to people. Around 400 indigenous tribes live here, many of whom have little to no contact with the outside world. These tribes don't just survive in the Amazon, they thrive, using ancient knowledge passed down through generations to hunt, farm, and navigate the forest. Their culture and traditions are deeply intertwined with the land, and they've been its most effective guardians for centuries. Yet as logging, mining, and agriculture push deeper into the jungle, these tribes are being displaced. Their homes are being destroyed, their sacred sites desecrated, and their way of life threatened. And then there's the climate connection. The Amazon rainforest plays a critical role in regulating Earth's temperature. By absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, It helps slow the effects of global warming. But here's the flip side. When trees are cut down or burned, they release all that stored carbon back into the atmosphere. The Amazon, which should be our ally in the fight against climate change, risks becoming a source of emissions instead of a sink. Here's something even more alarming. The Amazon generates its own rain. Moisture from its trees forms clouds, which then release rain that feeds the forest. But as deforestation continues, this cycle is breaking down. Less forest means less rain, which means more forest drying out and dying. It's a vicious cycle, and we're dangerously close to the point of no return. So, what can we do? Is there any hope for the Amazon? The good news is, efforts are underway to save this incredible ecosystem. Governments, NGOs, and local communities are stepping up in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. For example, satellite technology now allows authorities to monitor illegal logging and deforestation in real time. This means law enforcement can respond faster and more effectively than ever before. Indigenous tribes are also being given legal rights to their land, empowering them to defend it against exploitation. Studies show that forests managed by indigenous communities are some of the best preserved areas in the Amazon. And then there are the global efforts. Organizations like the World Wildlife Fund and Rainforest Alliance are working to protect critical areas, restore degraded land, and promote sustainable farming practices. Even companies are starting to take responsibility, with some committing to zero deforestation supply chains. But here's the thing. This isn't just a job for governments and organizations. Every single one of us has a role to play. Reducing our meat consumption, for example, can help decrease the demand for cattle ranching, which is one of the leading causes of deforestation. Supporting sustainable brands and donating to conservation projects might seem like small actions, but they add up. And it's not just about what we do, it's also about raising awareness. The more people know about the Amazon and its importance, the more pressure there is on leaders and corporations to take action. The Amazon rainforest is more than just a beautiful place. It's a lifeline for our planet. It's a reminder of nature's power, resilience, and fragility. From the air we breathe to the medicines we rely on, the Amazon touches every single one of us. But its survival isn't guaranteed. The threats are real, but so is our ability to act. Whether it's by making small changes in our daily lives, supporting conservation efforts, or simply spreading the word, we all have a part to play. The Amazon isn't just a story about South America, it's a story about all of us and the kind of future we want to create. Stay curious. Watch the next video to discover more hidden wonders of our world.